Well, good morning. Happy first day of December. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I was actually on the phone with a giraffe arm with a business right before coming up here, and they were asking, how long have you been around the church? How long have you been working for the church? What's your favorite season that y'all have as a church? I said, the season we're in now. And she was like, oh, you mean December? No. No. As much as I like December, no. I'm talking about just where we are as a church, where we're headed, all of that. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I am. If you can see the background, I was going to say a funny joke, but I'm not going to. We are going to talk about flexing your spiritual muscles this month. It is an amazing graphic, Clemmy. I wonder who could have come up with such a cool graphic. I don't know who. Oh, it was you. So before we get into the amazingness of the word, let's go over some announcements. What do we have? You're supposed to be. Let's try it again. Boom. The Giving Tree. You can sign up in the lobby. If you need assistance with gifts this year, or if you know a family in need, or you want to be a giver and a blessing to someone else, then sign up in the lobby. You can also email A Soto. That sounds like very like ninja. A Soto at citcdallas.org, or J Lopez at citcdallas.org. And that is April and Jen, for those of you that didn't know. What else do we have? Outreach Ministry Meeting December 11th, which also brings us to Soul Winning this Saturday at 10 a.m. There we go. Prayer and Outreach this Saturday at 10 a.m. You want to be a part of that as we are reaching out to the lost, praying for them, and bringing them into the kingdom. How many are thankful that you're in the kingdom of light? Share that thankfulness with someone else. What else do we have? I know we have a PJ party. There we go. Pastor Vicky's book, Generational Wisdom, Leaving a Legacy. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or Church in the City in the Visitor Center, where she will sign it after service. You want to do that, receive wisdom from someone that has gone before you. CITC Young Adults Christmas Party at Brooke and Caleb's house on December 10th. You can email Caleb right there at cbowers@citcdallas.org. You can join us after service in the coffee shop for cookies and refreshments. Do we have the pearls and pajamas one? Oh, okay. Merge night. Next Wednesday, we will have everyone in service as Pastor Vicky has a word from the Lord. So you want to be here for that. It's a cool graphic too. I like that one too. Christmas wreaths for sale. There are not many left, so you want to get down there and snatch one up. PJs and pearls, or boxers and beef, whichever category you fit into. PJs and pearls for the ladies. December 9th from 6 to 9. Y'all are going to play games. Y'all are going to have fun, hang out, and get to know each other if you don't already know each other. Anything else? That's me. All right, let's see who all is on this morning. Miss Cornelia, good morning. Hope you had a great birthday yesterday. Miss Kay, Mallory, Ma Poindexter, Javi. Who else is on? Clemmy, Sherwin Williams. Hope your paint is going great. Miss Donna White. If you have not said good morning, please say good morning. I've had a lot of coffee and I'm in a good mood, so this whole live stream could go awry. All right. Let me dial it in and focus. So I, from the Lord, was asking him, because I know y'all been asking me to do the first fruits offering stuff, so I want to wait till I'm pretty much always in a good mood unless someone does something to make me in a bad mood, which is very rare, but it happens. I want to wait till January to hit that topic. So I was asking the Lord, what do you want me to do to close out this year? And kind of what I've been saying for the last couple of years is, why wait till January to set out what you're seeking for the Lord for that year? So he kind of said, hey, why don't you talk about things that are going to set people up to already be strong starting January 1 for next year? So that's when I was like, okay, what does that look like? And he kind of broke some things down to me, and I kind of made it this way because when I was talking to the Lord, we were talking about strengthening people. What do you have that can strengthen you to make you have a better year in 2023 than you did in 2022? So if you say, I would like to be stronger spiritually in 2023 than I was this year, then give me that flexing bicep, the python, the guns, whatever you want to call it. Give me that emoji in the comments. And check out this cool graphic behind us if I can get out of the way. You can't really see it all, but her graphics are awesome. She does great. Great work. Miss K, okay, I was like, she threw up a blank. I don't know what that means. Miss K's flexing on us. Miss Amy's flexing on us. Anyone else flexing on us? I'm sure they'll respond, but there's a little bit of a delay. Plus, they're all driving and working. Javi's just sitting in the office with his feet propped up. Clemmy's flexing her legs. Whoa. Whoa. So, let's start. You can't find the flexing arm emoji. Let it start with our key verse that we're going to say every one of these. 1 Timothy 4, verse 8. And we're going to read out of the Classy Amplified. Oh, 1 Timothy. Here we go. Amplified Classic. Good morning, Miss Dawn. For physical training is of some value. Let's get that part in there. For some value. So it is beneficial to your body. Useful for a little. But godliness, and I like what it says here in the Amplified Classic, spiritual training. So that's what we have to see these next 5 weeks as. We have 5 weeks till the end of the year. If you want to start 2023 stronger than you started 2022, if you want to start 2023 stronger than you ended 2022, because that's what we want. We want you to start the year stronger than what your best point was in this year. We want you to have a better year than you've ever had. And you can do that. If you're growing spiritually continually, then it's kind of, that's why I like that song, It Keeps Getting Better. Every day keeps getting better. Because that is genuinely like my testimony. Like what I could say from my experience of life is that the more I get in this, the more revelation I get out of this, the more I apply myself spiritually and train myself spiritually, every day, every month, every year gets better. Will there be hardships? Will there be tests? Will there be trials? Yes, absolutely. But over the course, it all gets better. So it goes on to say, but godliness, spiritual training is useful and of value in everything and in every way, for it holds promise for the present life and also for the life which is to come. So we have to train ourselves spiritually. So I am going to hit over this month 5 different areas, or 5 different spiritual muscles, if you will. And what I like about this is you can use them all individually, just like in your body. You can use one muscle to do a certain thing. But realistically, if you've ever studied the body at all, most movements take multiple muscles, correct? When you're picking something up, it isn't just your arm picking something up. It takes your back, it takes your leg, it takes your arm, it takes your shoulder. Same with any other normal movement. It takes multiple muscles. So if you want to be strong spiritually, and I think this is where many Christians weaken themselves and say, oh, I'm just a prayer warrior. Oh, I am a teacher. You're actually crippling yourself. That'd be like saying, oh, I only work out legs, or I only work out chest. How many people have ever seen someone that you can tell they work out, but they always skip their legs? Like they never work out legs because their upper body is massive and their legs are like little twigs. Or then you have other people that they only work out legs and their legs are massive and their arms. Anyways, that's how a lot of Christians look spiritually. And I want us to avoid that to where we are balanced, we are well trained, we are well diverse, so that when any test, any trial comes our way, Pastor Ryan and I were talking about this in his office yesterday, is you can kind of see where people are spiritually when they get a phone call or something happens that they don't expect. You can see on their reaction where they are spiritually, because it shows a lot what your initial reaction is. Do you respond in faith? Do you respond in fear? Do you respond in confusion? How are you responding initially to something? So over the course of the month, I am going to go over 5 separate spiritual muscles, if you will. And like I said, you can use them individually, but I want this to kind of build, and they kind of all play off of each other. Just like when you're bending over to pick something up, you use your legs, you use your glutes, you use your back, you use your arm. You use multiple different muscles, and in a spiritual battle, it should be the same way. You should be using multiple muscles, spiritual muscles together, and that's why I called it flexing your spiritual muscles, because I want you to walk into 2023 being able to flex your spiritual muscles on any task that comes to hand. So today, and I talk about this a lot, but I want us to look at it at the context. If I build this thing up, man, I really want to use symbolism of working out, but I want to use stuff that is applicable. So I'm trying to think as we go. So the first one I want to do is wisdom, because that's where it all starts. It all starts with wisdom. Well, why do you say that? Because the Bible is very clear on it. Let's go to James chapter 1. And I know I use all these scriptures and I talk about wisdom quite a bit, but you have to look at it as wisdom is one of the muscles. I mean, you could call this thing, I could literally preach what I'm about to preach for the next 5 weeks. Call it 5 keys to overcoming the enemy, 5 keys to overcoming trials, and anything, and it's going to be applicable. So, but wisdom is the number one muscle that you have that you can use to make your year stronger, or to finish the year stronger, or to become stronger spiritually. Wisdom. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 8 say this: My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. What is a trial? Simply putting something to the test, trying something, seeing if it's legal or not, right? Knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. So it says right here that we need wisdom to be able to face the trials and the tests that we're going to face in life. But it also says that if we lack wisdom, we can ask God. And I like what it says here, who gives to all liberally and without reproach. So he gives you wisdom when you ask for it. And he's not going to mock you. He's not going to make fun of you. He's not going to think you're stupid for asking for wisdom. He actually encourages it. Have you ever had a parent that's like, oh yeah, do it, do it, do it. And, and you're like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to get in trouble. But right here, God is saying, yes, do it. Ask me. But he's not going to sit there and tell you you're in trouble for asking. It actually, it makes him happy that you ask for wisdom and understanding. That should be something that we all ask for on a daily, monthly, weekly, yearly basis. I want to grow in wisdom every day. That's something like if I'm spending enough time in the Word, I should be growing on a regular basis. Hey, Alex, good to see you. We should be growing regularly. It says, but let him ask in faith with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man and unstable in all his ways. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 1. And this is kind of where the more time I've been spending in Proverbs, we could literally go through probably every chapter of Proverbs and pull at least a verse out for this. But I don't know that we have time. So I've gone through and picked a few, but it all starts in Proverbs chapter 1. And the headline to this in my NLT literally says, the purpose of Proverbs. The purpose of Proverbs. The reason the Lord gave us the book of Proverbs. These are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, king of Israel. Their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline. So right here, another thing, if we're talking about flexing our spiritual muscles, how do you obtain muscles? By working them, right? Pushing them past their breaking point so they have to tear and heal back bigger. That's literally what working out is. Discipline is one of the biggest keys to developing muscle, being disciplined. It is no coincidence right here that the Lord uses the book of Proverbs to show wisdom and discipline working hand in hand. Good morning, Miss Marilyn. You have to learn discipline to help them understand the insights of the wise. Have any of you watching, and if you have, you can use the big eyes or the binocular eyes like you're looking at somebody, emoji. Have any of you ever looked up to someone in your life and said, man, I want the wisdom that they have. I want to be able to, when a problem comes up, I want to react the way they react. Man, I wish I knew what they know. And that's something that we have all been so blessed to be able to sit under Pastor Mike for so long, is you could just, I would love just watching him and just listening to what he had to say. And just being quiet and just listening and just receiving from him and just knowing that I was going to get a nugget of wisdom when he spoke. I loved it. So if you've ever had someone like that in your life, which I pray that everyone has had someone like that at some point, this book of Proverbs helps us get to that level. It pushes us towards being more wise, to being filled with wisdom, and not just natural wisdom, but wisdom from on high, wisdom from the Lord, wisdom from the God that created everything. It says, their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives. How many of you want to be successful? Whatever you think that is, whether that's discipling a bunch of people, leading a bunch of people to the Lord, making a lot of money to where you can help a bunch of people, raising your family to where your children grow up a certain way, whatever that is, how many of you want to be successful? This book of Proverbs says if you meditate on this, if you follow these, if you live according to this, if you use the wisdom, and this is why I put this as number one, if you use the wisdom of the Lord, you avoid many tests and trials, number one. If you read through the whole book of Proverbs, following wisdom alone keeps you out of trouble. But then when you do fall into a test, following wisdom gives you a way out. It actually says the way of the righteous is like a highway. The way of the wicked is like an overgrown road, an overgrown path with thorns and thistles. Wisdom, to me, is the foundation of all the spiritual muscles, because wisdom comes from the Word. You want to know how to act like God, how to act like Jesus? Use the wisdom He gave you. It's actually His character. He's teaching you His character. He's teaching you how to act. You say, I want to be a new creation in Christ. I know the Word says that, but how do I do it practically? You follow the book of Proverbs. It literally tells you how to act, how to think, how to react to situations, how to avoid troubles, how not to slip back into sin. It tells you all of that. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. These proverbs will give insight to the simple. Here's the other thing. How many of us have ever heard, y'all aren't interacting very much. Y'all know I like interaction. It's December. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be cheerful. Go get a bigger cup of coffee. Interact with me, please. These proverbs, how many of us have ever said, man, I really read the Bible and I don't understand it? How many of us have ever been at that point in life? Man, I started reading in Job and I just don't understand what he's saying. I was reading in Ezekiel, and how many of us have ever done that or heard someone say that? I know, like, the biggest mistake new believers can make is start reading the Old Testament, because then they're like, man, these ladies were getting their dad drunk so they could sleep with them, and then like everyone's cutting each other's heads off and, you know, mounting each other on a 75-foot pole in the air. Like, what is going on? Right here. These proverbs will give insight to the simple. So if you've said, I don't understand it, this will give insight to you to where you will be able to understand what the Word is talking about. It'll give you insight to where you understand what to say in a situation that you've never even been in. Like whenever people come up for counseling or come up for different things, I find things coming up out of me that I'm like, I'll look at my wife and be like, where did that come from? Because it doesn't come from you. When you spend time in the Word and you're getting wisdom from on high, then you allow Him to speak through you. These proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment to the young. And this is why we try to tell people, and this is what I love about us having our kids and youth in so many of our services, is that you can't look down on anyone because of their age. The Lord can use, you go back and look through the Old Testament. Some of the kings were toddlers and 8-year-olds, and they ruled for 40 years, and they were some of the most successful people. They started at 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 years old, being a king or a queen over a whole nation. Old Testament can be a struggle. It can be. But the more and more you read it, the more and more it makes sense. Verse 5. Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. So what this tells me is these proverbs are for everyone. It says they're for the simple and they're for the wise. If you want to gain wisdom, which you would be ignorant if you didn't want to gain wisdom, how many of you want to be successful? Then you have to understand things, right? What do you want to be successful in? Somebody throw something out there. I don't care if it's legit or not, but throw something. Yeah, numbers is another one, yeah. Throw something out there that you want to be successful at, whether it's business, whether it's raising your family, whether it's doing push-ups, whatever it is. Anyone paying attention. And if you just joined, please say hello so I can greet you. Hannah Solace. I hope y'all are enjoying St. Louis. We love you guys. I was actually just talking about y'all yesterday or 2 days ago. Love you guys so much. Miss you already. And your snickerdoodle cookies this time of year. Hannah Solace wants to be successful with her family. April wants us to be successful at fasting the next 19 days. Well, biblical tips for fasting. Put on makeup. Make yourself presentable so that people don't know you're fasting, and don't tell people you're fasting. I'm just kidding. But biblically, that's what it says. It doesn't say makeup. It says something like, don't wear sackcloth and ashes. Basically, don't look homeless while you're fasting. That's what it says. But literally, if you want to have a family, if you want to be successful in raising your kids, you want to be successful in business, you want to be successful at fasting, the Word literally lays out all of the principles for all of that stuff. And in Proverbs, it literally gives you almost everything. And if it's not in Proverbs, it's in the Word. But most of it is in Proverbs. It says, let the wise listen to these Proverbs and become even wiser. So it'll get, like April's saying, she wants to be successful in fasting these 19 days leading up to Christmas. If she wants to be successful, she can get in the Word. And this is what's crazy, is she's pursuing the things of God. Do you think God wants you to pursue the things of God and be successful in pursuing the things of God? Absolutely. So right here, he's going to give you the wisdom, the spiritual muscle to be successful. And he says right here, their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives. Right there. Fasting is a discipline. Being successful at it, it tells you their purpose is to teach people how to be disciplined and successful. Back to verse 5. Let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those with understanding receive guidance. By exploring, right here, by exploring the meaning, this is how you can tell Ford vehicles are anointed. Because what is one of the Ford vehicles? An Explorer. By exploring. I'm just kidding. The meaning in these proverbs and parables, the words of the wise and their riddles. So it says right here, you can't just have the book of Proverbs on your desk. You have to actually explore it. What is explore it? Hiking it, right? Pray, like jumping over a rock, going around a corner, you don't know what's there, exploring it, diving into it, dissecting it. Fear of the Lord, and this is why I wanted to start with Proverbs 1. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. So fearing the Lord, acknowledging that He is our Savior, acknowledging that God the Father is creator of all things, and only because of Him and His Son can we be removed from the kingdom of darkness and brought into the family of light. That right there is the very foundation of wisdom, the very foundation of knowledge. If you don't have that, you can't build on it. So, let's go over to Proverbs 4. We're back in the Amplified Classic. I try to use 3 very distinctive colored Bibles. That way y'all know what translation I'm in, if I don't tell you. Proverbs 4, verse 7. The beginning of wisdom is, get wisdom, skillful and godly wisdom, for skillful and godly wisdom is the principal thing. And with all you have gotten, get understanding, discernment, comprehension, and interpretation. Prize wisdom highly and exalt her, and she will exalt and promote you. Right there. If you want to have a successful year, get wisdom, because it says if you promote wisdom, if you make wisdom the very key to your life, what wisdom are we talking about? Wisdom from the Word, right? Wisdom from God's kingdom, wisdom from the Lord. If you promote wisdom and make it the principal thing in your life, wisdom itself will exalt you and promote you, take you up, bring you up on a higher level, take you to the next level. And this is what we need as a church. Y'all listen and wake up right now. We need, and I've been talking about this with every department head, Pastor Ryan and I have been talking about this, with where we are as a church, the season we're in, we need everyone to step up a level. We need everyone to be proactive. We need everyone, as many departments as we're starting right now, as many things, the Bible school, the outreach department, the trailer coming in, the bus getting filled, outreach, all of these different things. Not to mention just the normal stuff we have going on here that's growing, the food pantry. all of these areas. We need people that are proactive, that see an issue and come up with a solution. One of the biggest things I can't stand, and I may have talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago, but maybe not. I was dealing with some issues with some contractors and some different departments that it involved. And this person that came out from, I won't say what organization, was supposed to be the very head. Like, we had dealt with 4 or 5 rungs below them. But this person was supposed to be like the head. And they were kind of getting into it with a contractor. And I finally said, look, I don't need problems. Okay, we all know what the problem is. You repeating the problem to me solves nothing. You're supposed to be a leader. Give me a solution. Stop giving me problems. And they kind of like, whoa. Because that's what we need right now. We all can see. You walk around this massive property, you can see something that needs to be fixed. You don't need to bring it to our attention. We pretty much know. But we need people that are, instead of just seeing it, are actually going to go and fix it. They're going to come up with a solution on their own. They're going to present us the solution. Or one day we're just going to walk by and be like, man, when did that get fixed? Without even bringing it to our attention. We need those kind of people right now. We were in a meeting, Pastor Ryan and I were in a meeting last night for a new department that's launching and getting started up. And the person is like, I've already done this. What do y'all think about this? Those are the kind of people we need. We need people that aren't just going to be like, hey, I noticed y'all aren't doing this. Why aren't y'all doing this? Why don't you go and do it? Pastor Ryan and I can't do everything. Pastor Larry can't do everything. Pastor Jordan and Pastor Carl can't do everything. We need people that are on fire for the Lord like y'all are. But now are going to flip that hunger and use the wisdom that you get from the Lord and turn it into solutions. That's what we need. If you exalt wisdom, if you pursue wisdom, it is going to exalt you. It is going to take you to a new level. That's literally basically what it says. Prize wisdom highly and exalt her, and she will exalt and promote you. She will promote you. She will bring you to honor when you embrace her. She shall give to you a head of wreath of gracefulness, a crown of beauty and glory, and she will deliver to you. Many of you have been getting Botox and different things, seeking beauty, but right here it says, if you seek wisdom and make wisdom the principal thing, she will make you beautiful. Selah. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of your life shall be many. How many of you like living? How many of you like breathing? How many of you like being here on the earth? Right here it says, if you seek wisdom, you will have a life of many years. You want a longer life? Then be wise. Seek wisdom. I have taught you in the way of skillful and godly wisdom, which is comprehensive insight into the ways and purposes of God. I have led you in paths of uprightness. When you walk, your steps shall not be hampered. Your path will be clear and open. How many of you have ever been like, man, it feels like I keep hitting an obstacle. Every time I go, I hit an obstacle. Are you seeking wisdom? Are you seeing what the word says on that area? Because right here it says, when you walk, your steps shall not be hampered. Your path will be clear and open. And when you run, you shall not stumble. Take firm hold of instruction and do not let her go. Guard her, for she is your life. Wisdom is your life. Wisdom adds to your life. Wisdom will give you a better life. I just realized what time it is, and we have to hurry. Proverbs 16:16. We haven't opened the yellow one, so let's do that. Hannah, any plans to come back for Christmas? And you don't have to answer that publicly. You can text my wife or I and tell us. Proverbs 16:16. How much better to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. Right there, the Lord tells us that seeking wisdom is more important than wealth. Why? Because if you don't have wisdom, you'll blow the wealth anyway. But if you have wisdom, your wealth will create more wealth. Proverbs 19, verse 8. I'm I'm going to have to fly through the last, guys. Proverbs 19, verse 8. He who gains wisdom loves his own life. He who keeps understanding shall prosper and find good. So many of us declare, the Lord wants me to be prosperous. I want to prosper. Okay, well, are you doing the things the Word tells us to give wisdom? Are you tithing? Are you tithing? I mean, don't come to a pastor or a minister and ask for a prayer of blessing if you're not tithing. Don't ask for your business to be blessed if you're not tithing from your business. It's as simple as that. Like, if you're not doing step 1, how can the Lord take you to step 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? If you want your business to be blessed and you want multiple businesses, say you're believing for 5 businesses, but you're not tithing off your personal income and your first business income, why is he going to give you 5 businesses? Simple things, guys. Wisdom. Wisdom. Wisdom is better than gold because wisdom will produce more gold. Psalms 107:43. Who is wise? If there be any truly wise, they will observe and heed these things. They will diligently consider the mercy and loving kindness of the Lord. See right here, everything that we're reading about wisdom tells us to pursue the things of the Lord. Tells us to read what he gives us instruction for. If we're reading his instruction, we have spiritual wisdom. This is what I don't understand. People don't like to read the Bible, right? Even Christians have a hard time reading the Bible on a consistent basis. But then they complain about their struggles in life. Why don't you read the instructions from the very being that created life? This is not an IKEA instructions. You buy a piece of furniture from IKEA and the instructions make 0 sense. It's like they're to a different piece of furniture. That's not what this is. This right here is wisdom for every area of life. Yes, we read, you may have to do some exploring through the Word to be able to understand what it's saying. You may have to tie in Ezekiel to Romans. You may have to tie Romans into the book of Acts. You may have to tie different things in. But when you seek it, you pursue it, and you explore it, it gives you wisdom to be successful and profitable in everything that you do. It will exalt you. It will take you up a level. How many of us are ready to go up a level in 2023? If you want to go up a level, that's what I'm saying. You have to seek wisdom like you have never sought it before. A couple of weeks ago, I told you someone asked, hey, I'm going to Bible school in August, but what are some things I can be doing now? Seek wisdom. Get into the Word like never before, and that's for everyone. When I was going through some of my toughest times, I got into the Word like I had never read it before. I got into it and I started devouring the thing. I mean, it's kind of like at Thanksgiving and Christmas. How many of you see people that don't normally eat a lot? But at Thanksgiving, their plate is full, right? To where you have to double up on the paper plates. People have gotten so lazy now they don't like to do dishes. So they use paper plates and it starts bending, right? And they have so much gravy on there that it starts seeping through. That's how we have to get with the Word. How is it that we can pursue physical food that much but not spiritual food? We should be pursuing spiritual food so much that it oozes out of us, that it's overflowing, that our instant reactions is to quote the Word and not to quote the doctor's report. Proverbs 28, verse 7. Whoever keeps the law of God and man is a wise son, but he who is a companion of gluttons and a carousing, self-indulgent and extravagant shames his father. So whoever keeps the law of God, he is wise. I think that's what it says in the other translation. Proverbs 28, verse 7. Whoever keeps the law is a discerning son. All right, let's start wrapping it up. Proverbs 10:8 out of the Amplified. The wise in heart Listen to this. The wise in heart. We've been talking about wisdom. We've been talking about how wisdom is a spiritual muscle that you can flex on any situation. You can flex on the devil. You can flex on anything. The wise in heart are willing to learn. So that's another thing, the very beginning. Are you even willing to get in the Word and seek wisdom? You have to be. You have to ask yourself that, though. Because there are some things you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to research that. Yeah, I'm not going to look. Like someone says, hey, you should really look into doing this. Okay, yeah, I will. Then you walk away, yeah, I'm not doing that. But we have to convince ourselves and do it and put it into practice that this is going to be a part of my daily life. My life is going to revolve around this. This isn't just a part. And this is where we have to get. If you just want to stay where you are and that's fine, that's up to you. But where we're going as a church, you'll be able to be on the outskirts. But if you want to be involved heavily in the kingdom of God and being used for the kingdom of God and be successful and be prosper, then you have to make up your mind that this is going to be the foundation and the basis of everything I do in life. I'm not just going to go to it when I'm in trouble. I'm not going to go to it when I just need encouragement. I am going to it every day, and I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to find, and this is what this is about. You seek wisdom from the Word, then you know the solution before the problem even arises. You hear what I'm saying? You know what the answer is before the question even comes up. That's why it helps you avoid so many trials and so many different storms and tests, because you already know the way out before it even happens. So when it comes up, you're just like, okay, next. To where it's not even an issue. But if you're not pursuing this, if you're not spending time in the Word, then you don't have that wisdom. You don't have that understanding. You don't have that discernment. Having the wisdom alone from the Word avoids so many things. And we'll wrap it up with James chapter 3. Is that right? That can't be right. Oh, it helps if I'm in the right book. James chapter 3, verse 13. If you are wise and understand God's ways, prove it by living an honorable life, doing good works with the humanity that comes from wisdom. Listen to that. Doing good works with the humanity that comes from wisdom. The very fruit of your life shows the level that you pursue wisdom. The very fruit of your life. You can literally check your life and determine where you are on your level of pursuing wisdom. Am I living a righteous life? Am I producing disciples? Am I being a blessing to others? Am I leading others to the Lord? Are my children growing up knowing the ways of the Lord? Is my business a beacon of light to others? Is my home a source of peace? When people come into it, do they feel peace and love? Or do they feel chaotic? The fruit of your life shows your level of pursuance of wisdom. Wisdom is our first and foundational spiritual muscle that we can flex. It's our first muscle that we can develop. And when we develop it, it makes it easier to develop all. It's kind of like our core. If we want to compare it to the physical body, it's our core, right? If we strengthen our core, well, that means we strengthen every muscle around it. If we don't strengthen our core, then it's easy to tear stuff. It's easy to pull other muscles. It's easy because your core is not strong. It actually weakens the rest of your body. Wisdom is the core to our spiritual bodies. Love you guys. Prayer starts here in about an hour. Pursue wisdom and flex on your tests, your trials, and the devil. Love you. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, join tomorrow with Pastor Andrew and Pastor Kinsey. Other than that, we will see you Sunday morning.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed today's service. You can always rewatch this message on Facebook and YouTube archives. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And for more information on events at Church in the City, visit our website at citcdallas.com.